There's word, I don't want to say where, but let's just say in this neighborhood, there's a giant development with a lot of big houses. And you just go, where's the guy getting the backing to build these giant mansions? And where it is, it's all being laundered.
Yeah, that's interesting. I know for sure. I'm not saying that's not true. I don't really know, but I know now that the cartels, at least Sinaloa, which is the biggest cartel, they don't even sell drugs in the U.S. anymore. They move them wholesale. They move them to the border. Like they bring coke up from Colombia. They cook fentanyl and meth in Culiacan, Sinaloa, and the surrounding regions. They grow weed. They move it up through Mexico to the border. And they now, instead of moving it across the border with their people and having their people sell at retail and bring the money back, they're just selling to American dealers wholesale at the border and then just retreating, saying bye and going back to Sinaloa. So I'm actually not, I think that's really, that dude, Peter, whatever that dude that was on Rogan the other day was saying what you said about how they're laundering their money through American businesses and through, like dispensaries and shit. I think the opposite is true. Because think about, why would you move your money in a place that you literally control with your money?
Yeah.
Are essentially untouchable. Why would you risk having it be detected in America? You know,
it's a good point, because I think they eventually want legitimacy in America, and also fear, like the dollar is so much stronger than the peso. So,
but they deal in dollars down there.
Yeah. And I mean, you can spend dollars down there, like almost.
Yeah.
Equal.
Dude, listen to this. So, you go down to Mexico and there's money exchange places everywhere. You take your dollars, get pesos. So our guide, he's like this trap. They call it trapteño. He was like this trap rapper in Sinaloa, but he grew up with all the cartel guys that are now running shit. He took us to this little section of the city, and it was like a four block stretch. And it was just all of these money exchange places. And it's just bored women that look like Ernie fucking sitting in these little booths, just exchanging. Kids on motorcycles would drive up and just bring them shopping bags full of money, and they would change the pesos over into dollars. He's like, they launder about $7 million a day just in this little space. And this is just, there's several different districts like this in the city. It's a city of like 800,000. It's smaller than Portland. Isn't that fucking bananas? And they own those businesses too. So they're getting a double pop. They own the currency exchange places, obviously. It's fucking, dude. It's fucking rules. Dude, if you could be a Mexican drug kingpin and not like have consequences, that's the best life. Can we just say that? Or a Colombian? Can we just be honest
I feel like
here?
they eventually get you.
Yeah, usually. Yeah. For sure. They didn't get Jorge Ochoa.
And it's ugly when they get you.
Yeah, the only guy they haven't got in Mexico from like the old guard is the dude El Mayo. They call him, his name's Ismael Zambala. And have you heard of this guy, Ern? El Mayo was Chapo's boss, his partner, but his boss. Chapo was kind of just a manager. He's arguably what Pablo Escobar was to Jorge Ochoa in Colombia, and the way you prove that is he was on a phone call with these dudes that were working for the DEA, the Flores brothers in Chicago. They were his main heroin buyers in the States. Chapo is heard on a tapped phone talking about a heroin deal. Like a real kingpin would never be on the phone talking about a deal. So they say El Mayo, he's the old man. He's like 75, never been caught, never done a day in jail, owns almost all the drug routes now in Sinaloa up to the border. And he's probably working for the DEA. He's probably working for the DEA or the CIA because there's a reason he never gets caught. It's because he rats whenever the government, he's so powerful. Every now and again, because it's all about keeping up appearances, right? So the Mexican government will come to him every now and then and be like, hey, it's getting hot down here. We need you to feed us somebody, right? It's for the headlines. It's to keep the Americans placated.
Right.
So he'll just go. His son ratted on Chapo, his partner. This is how the kingpins operate. They give up information to the government in order to stay alive. So that's...
Wait, where is El Chapo right now?
He's in a maximum security Florence, I think, the one in Colorado, the Supermax. He's never getting out.
You don't think?
Doubt it. I mean, he's got life, so the only way he could get out is on like a compassionate release from like a judge. That's how a lot of those kingpins from the 80s, like those black and Spanish dudes, American dudes that got life like and didn't really deserve it. They're getting out now. Like the dude I'm meeting tomorrow in New York, he was involved in like like he was selling like 25 kilos a day in Harlem. Like he got life. And then after 27 years, the judge granted him like, you don't have to die in here. Which it's like, come on, dude. I'm no pussy liberal. Like motherfuckers need to be locked up, but most people shouldn't have to die in prison. That's,
I don't know.
Maybe
I feel like that's part of the risk you take.
Yeah, come on, bro. But a 24-year-old, like these are like 24, 25-year-old kids.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm all for rehabilitation and usually we create the animals or whatever.
Right.
But when it comes to like drug dealers, that's kind of a decision you make where you go,
oh yeah,
that's true. I'm going to take the shortcut and I'm going to make a lot of money because it's a high risk endeavor.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to take the risk and I want but so you took the gamble.
Yeah.
And you took the gamble.
Mm-hmm.
And so you lost on your gamble.
Yeah.
You got to pay the piper.
Yeah. That's true.
When it's people that like fuck up and do really crazy weird shit and it's just like they're young or whatever, I'm very anti-death penalty. I'd rather like if society created a monster. Why are we both sitting like such?
I don't know. Do you want me to go the other leg though?
I feel like we should.
No. So this is I'm right, you're left.
Okay.
It's perfect. Not gay.
It's like we're trying. Yeah, we're not gay. So
I'm a little.
I
gay.
feel like society creates the monster, so society should pay for it. Like it's our fault. We made this monster. We should try to fix the monster. And people are going to argue, but you can't. Well, we should still try. But but
if you know what you're doing now, though,
nowadays, the risk in drugs, like you knew when you got busted.
Yeah, I knew I was going down.
But you also came from like, what were you, like upper middle class?
Yeah, we were upper middle class.
So you deserved everything you got.
Oh, totally, dude. I deserved more probably.
Yeah,
I should have spent at least another year and a half, 2 years in there.
What'd you get? How long?
I was sentenced to 36 months. I did about like 20. So
20 months?
Yeah,
it's a long enough time.
Yeah, I learned my lesson.
Was it depressing?
No, it was of course it was fucking depressing. Yeah, it was depressing. It was depressing, but it was also motivating too. So at the same time, so it caught like it was so. Did
you ever have a panic attack?
No. I don't panic like that. I get very
I've
sad.
heard of a lot of people that panic in prison because of like the claustrophobia and the like being in like that small cell.
You would have a panic attack.
Oh,
this is not your kind of thing. If you can't go on an elevator.
I'd bash my head against the bars till I was dead.
Yeah. Well, maybe if you had 20 months to do, you could see the end of it.
I don't know, 20 months? I'd be like, I couldn't make it 2 days.
That would be so funny if somebody bashed themselves to death and they were like, he's got about a year to do.
No, dude, if I had a day in prison.
You'd probably get killed or raped or beaten up anyways if you're that much of a bitch. No
I got handcuffed.
You know what I mean?
I got handcuffed and taken to jail once, and they handcuffed me to the bench, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it through this.
That's a very white way to get taken to jail. That's how you get taken to jail in Malibu when they catch you like with enough shit to like actually send you to prison. They're like, we're going to bring you into the station, get you some coffee. How's the kids? Like I feel like you could really get your hooks in some corruption if you had enough money in Malibu.